What up, y'all? Peace and love to my peoples. Want to build before y'all at this time, with some right knowledge, correct information that is sure to put our thought process in proper order. On the level to where we find ourselves carrying ourselves in a classy way when it comes to social perfection. You know, through us striving for perfection in a world of imperfections. Now, where I want to go with this transmission today, at this time, which is right now, right, to where I want to connect with you, whoever just may be hearing these words of wisdom and words of enlightenment coming from me, your brother, John, the Nubian winner, baby. Let me tell you, it's amazing how us as a people, regarding us as black people, in a language you can understand, to where I guess that due to certain prophecies pointing at us as far as like us growing into a particular awakening in 2014 and beyond. Now, man, the master teacher Panabab Yanun came with a divine mission specifically to appeal to our smart side of us as a people, because us as a people, we are far from dumb. The evidence is this: we are the mothers and fathers of civilization itself, but yet all over the globe, we are experiencing a certain black dilemma as a people, to where we are to come out with great substance that we basically had in the beginning of our enlightened stages of running societies that we regulated as a result from our divine creations. Now, I'm saying that to say this, right? I mean, are we just supposed to be stupid or what? No. I know I am not one of the individuals out here who are supposed to be stuck on stupid light, dealing with these intelligence communities out here. Like, we not competent enough in our thinking to reflect a intelligence community ourselves. But yet, we are just that, a intelligence community that represent higher learning and higher consciousness. But yet, there are certain forces that is at work to create a whole nother level of awareness in the people when it comes to the populations of the planet. Now, mind you, the United States of America is a baby nation that is supposed to be a sovereign republic with liberty and justice for all. Right? Which takes me to this particular mission statement of the Statue of Liberty of our nation. Now, mind you, the nationality that is on the international law books that represent our true identity as a people, not misnomers, right? Is supposed to come from what's called lineal ancestral representatives who represent us as a real bloodline of people who is connected with certain tribes who are indigenous in nature, where there is no mistaking our indigenous status as original copper colored people of this land, the United States of America, as a nation within a nation, who have treaties with other nations and people. Like, for instance, the Peace and Friendship Treaty between the United States of America and us. In the language you can understand, the Moors, or the Nubian Nation of Moors, or Yamasee Creek Seminole Washita tribes. Now, mind you, for the sake of making sense of the realities of what is going on in the world, are we just supposed to not remember who Noble Drew Ali is, or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, or Sheikh Dawood Ahmad Faisal is, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, freedom fighters, organizations that has been designed to appeal to the intelligence of our people to where we can get involved in creating a society to where we have good social relations, and where we create beautiful places to live for ourselves with respect to the rest of the human family with their communities that they create beautifully for themselves. It appears like it's a pattern here. Like, every time we try to go to the next level, there's certain kind of forces that plot and plan to get in the way of the growth and development of us bettering ourselves as a people. Why is that? What is that about? Why is that? Now, in the world of business or business law or business psychology, there's supposed to be a free enterprise where we all can take initiative to, through our creativity, to create all kind of jobs, businesses and jobs for others. But due to the social conflicts that's constantly arising here in America, to the point where certain societal influencers who is a part of a certain thought pattern or narrative that is of a agenda that appears to be outside of the bigger picture of the Most High's agenda. So with that said, we surrounded by all kind of symbolisms that's telling us one thing that people supposed to represent, but yet they doing a whole nother thing over here that have a certain effect on us to where we find ourselves like protesting, like, no, this shouldn't be. Why is y'all, you know what I'm saying, representing or doing this or committing all kind of treasonous acts against the backs, behind the backs of the American people? Where in the hell is we going as a nation and as a people? People don't even communicate in real time on levels to where we actually socializing in ways to where we really want to see the world in terms of making the world a better place. So, in regards to these oppositional forces who appear to represent these certain beings, or what's called the amber light, it sure is a, or should I say, there sure is groups of beings who really do have an amber light agenda as opposed to the green light agenda that the nine ether beings represent. The nine ether beings, we represent the green light, which is a light of healing in the world, a frequency of growth and development in the world, to the point where we want to align ourselves with what's called certain dimensional shifts that has actually taken place in natural nature. But how would other individuals who don't know what that is be able to see what that is unless they listen to nine ether beings who have that particular kind of light in which they can follow to tap into their potential to go to another level consciously with the thought leaders of this new paradigm shift in the now. Now you have people who just sitting back, right, acting like they don't know. Or let me see. I don't want to do this. have people, right, out here acting as if they don't know who this is. Partner Pam, y'all know him. Dr. Malachi Z. York. Now, this beautiful light being has come here through the divine design of natural nature to appeal to us, the lost found. Like in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam, the lost found, in terms of them reaching us and us waking up to the teachings, we have been found, so we're not lost anymore. So that put us on a timeline to where we are in the light of knowing what divine time that we have aligned ourselves with, to where we make sense of a intelligence community that we are a part of through or in natural nature. Now, for instance, I want to go into some questions and answers in a perspective to where the master teacher put things for us to take into consideration, like, why do we stay abreast on what's going on dealing with the geopolitical picture of the planet, and what's going on globally in the what's going on locally in the communities in which we live, so we can know how to move for the sake of ourselves, family, and children, and community, and the world as a whole. Because in this time of this information age, we are to know what we're supposed to know. That's just how it is. So, like, the term, like, by default, right? Say, for instance, in, like, the Arab culture, where you have what they call the United Arab Emirates, or in the Chinese culture, you have communist Red China, or you have in Russia certain socialist ideologies in the Russian culture, or in China, um, you have or China, Japan, or Korea. You have certain people that look like them who hold positions of a certain chain of command, from the heads of their state all the way down to the everyday civilians of their society. It's like, do you find the Russians telling them what to do? Or do you find the Chinese telling, other cultures other than theirs what to do? But yet, when it comes to black people here in the United States, who have been psychologically conditioned to be slaves in the mind for quite some time, to the point where there have been prophecies saying we was gonna come up out of that, but yet, due to, like, the dry bones in the valley coming together, it's like brothers and sisters trying to stand up and wake up out of the spell of sleep, to the point where the awakening is taking place for righteous purposes, where certain people fear us waking up. Like, we going to practice once we get into power, reverse racism. No, we don't think like that. We just getting back to who we are in our God conscious state to be righteous in our civilization. Now, for instance, right, by default, you know, it's okay, we black. We supposed to have some kind of awareness of the history of what's been taking place within the borders of the United States and internationally with the struggles of our people. Plain common sense. So when we have certain black leaders, who does this? You're not supposed to like him, or you're not supposed to like her because they make too much sense when it comes to trying to reach our minds to organize and unify around ideas that represent liberation and sovereignty. So when we wake up to that, that's our natural birthright. So in light of our natural birthright, those are inalienable rights that the international community of people are not to infringe upon. But within the details of all this awakening, we find ourselves in certain situations and circumstances to where we see all of these things going on to the point where some of us, we react to these things in a docile way, and a lot of the rest of us who have consciousness about ourselves, we react to these things in a way where we actively take action to respond to situations and circumstances how we are supposed to, that will render us safe in the end, where we keep our eyes open to the ways of the world. Now, mind you, it's this mission statement that the Statue of Liberty represent, right? In our country here in the United States of America. Though there are symbolism about the Statue of Liberty in the, what book is that? In the Bible, right? But before I go there, I want to read this mission statement regarding the Statue of Liberty. Do the people of the United States of America think about these words where they say, the Statue of Liberty, right? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teething shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Now, the symbolism of the Statue of Liberty is lighting the way for the world as the leader of the world with these principles of freedom. But in particular, these particular people that she talking about is tired, is poor, yearning to breathe free, wretched, refuse, homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Now, the golden door, what is the golden door? The golden door is within the borders of the United States to where people will have access to a land of milk and honey. The golden door of opportunities, right? Now, within this golden door of opportunities, for the last few hundreds of years, in addition to the 400 years of blacks being enslaved and America's Independence Day, and which also not the same day being the Independence Day of America, but the same year as the Independence Day of the group named the Illuminati, which is the year 1776. Well, as far as their birthday, May 1st, 1776, and America's Independence Day, the 4th of July, 1776. Yet, the people of the country still line up with these groups. Now, with that said, right, where do we find ourselves in the divine scheme of things? Now, for instance, there was a saying, we have to find a way to survive as black people. Black lives do matter. That is a no-brainer because all lives matter. Yet, you have immature people who is in positions of authority, which is to be respected, but those positions of authority are not to be abused either, which would render them who abuse their authority incompetent, like Donald Trump so eloquently speak on regarding certain people in these certain official positions are indeed incompetent to be there because they are abusing the oaths of office and they are abusing the official capacities or official positions. Now, mind you, what are we doing to survive? A lot of us, that's just what we doing. We trying to survive. Oh, what's the difference between living and surviving? We living and surviving. Yet, from the narrative of like how rich people live, do they have advantage over us the way they live by them having access to, it appears, limitless money, fine yachts, fine resorts to relax at, in addition to having beautiful homes, not poor, raggedy, and out of doors, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was speaking on regarding the unfortunate certain negative circumstances of black men and women in white America or in the white man's world or they system, to where we see all kind of inequality taking place and injustices taking place, which is actual facts, because the money system is controlled by a certain nationality of people that look at the rest of the human family in a perspective to where they see us as a term they call proletariats. Now, back to this point I was saying about the Statue of Liberty. On certain verses in the scriptures described her like a whore that sits on many waters, a great whore who have made the nations drunk from the fornications of her indulgences, of their indulgences, full of pornography, which leads to filth and abominations as a result of nations of the earth participating in the delicacies of the harlot. Now, man, the symbolism in the Bible represent people who fit the description of the symbolisms in the Bible or the Holy Quran and other spiritual books that the Bible and Holy Quran base its information on. In the midst of this, though, we find ourselves surviving in survival mode, doing what we have to do to survive here within the borders of the golden doors of the United States of America, which is a land of milk and honey, yet you find people is lacking and in want. Why is that? What kind of psyop is that? In the midst of plenty, you have a lot of people who have nothing. I'm gonna let this sink in for a minute. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, remember the statement he made? He say, why do our people like the devil? Or why do people like the devil? Because he gives them nothing. Why do people like the devil? Because he gives them nothing. Nothing. So that twisted situation, or that twisted kind of affection for a demonic entity,